So last night in the class, for those who don't know, I teach an astrology class. I teach it online. And if you want to study, just check it out in the description box. If you want a personal reading, just check it out in the description box as well. And the question came up about a Saturn return. What is your Saturn return? Technically, what is your Saturn return? And then I want to explain to you guys what the pros and cons going through this particular your personal Saturn return is. Now, in addition to Saturn returning back, which happens every 7.5 or 7-ish times 4 years, like between 28 to 29 years. There are Saturn squares, which happen every 7-ish years. And those time periods are tension in your life. Got it? So there's a Saturn return and Saturn squares, and they're very similar. They're similar, but not the same. Every time there's a square or this Saturn return, you're going to get a challenge to move on in life. And people think it's really difficult. They're like, oh, my Saturn return's coming. Oh, I can't take it. Oh, my life is... But you know what else happens at Saturn returns? At Saturn returns and all of these Saturn square moments? It's karma. Saturn is a planet of karma. If you're working towards good things and you arrive at one of these points, then very good things are going to happen to you. If you arrive at one of these points or these astrological checkpoints in your life and you haven't been you haven't been putting in the Saturn effort, then it's going to be a negative situation. Or if someone's been trying to control you, or you've given up your personal power to someone, or you've given up your personal power to something. Maybe you've become emotionally or financially or socially or dependent on someone or something. Now, when you get to these astrological checkpoints, or the Saturn checkpoints anyways, it's a checkpoint. And at these points in life, it becomes, for some people, it becomes very difficult. And a lot of, at that point in your life, on the negative side, a lot of people succumb. A lot of 14-year-olds, a lot of 15-year-olds, in around that time period, people say, oh, the teenagers, they commit suicide. They can't take it. They check out. Around 27, you hear a lot of people around 27, 28, they accidentally have drug overdoses, accidental deaths. So there's on purpose stuff, there's accidental stuff, accidental negative stuff. But on the other hand, so negative karma, you're doing drugs, you might die, Negative karma, you don't get yourself emotionally checked out, you might really damage yourself. But at the same time, or socially, if you don't get things together socially, you're going to be in a lot of problems. And this checkpoint happens, like I said, every 7 years. And every 7-ish years, and between 28 to 29 years, you go through it, you have a big return. And I'm going to show you guys what it looks like on the chart in a couple of seconds, an astrological chart in a second, so you can check it out yourself. Astrologically, we have different types of different effects of the aspect, applying aspects and separating aspects. And I'll show that to you in a sec. But just as there's some negative things that can happen out of the Saturn, these Saturn aspects in your time, like whether it's a 7-year negative Saturn kind of itch thing, or it's like 30, 28, 29-year-old Saturn return, there's also a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of good karma. A lot of people get married at these ages. A lot of people get married at 21, 21, 22. A lot of people get married. A lot of people get married around 27, 28, 29. A lot of people get married as the energy over time. Saturn return is an actual date, but there's an applying energy, and then there's a separating energy, which takes a little bit of time. You might get married during the applying aspect or the separating aspect. It's different. And when you do, it's going to have a different astrological footprint and energy or meaning to your marriage. What other good things happen? People at 21, they finish school and they get out into the world and they're like, yeah, I get a job. I'm going to start my life. I'm an adult. But if you didn't study hard at school and it's around that time, that rite of passage in your life, you're not going to get a good job. It's going to be pretty tricky for you. So it's karma. So don't think, try not to think of Saturn as a negative thing. Try to think of Saturn as karma, hard work paying off. Whereas negative stuff and nonsense and, messing around, that kind of stuff is going to be rewarded in kind as well. So if you're in a jerk around relationship, in your early, late teens, early 20s, when you're at university, if you're in a jerk around relationship, or end of high school in a jerk around relationship, you're probably gonna, when you reach that age, you're gonna probably dump your girl or dump your guy and move on to something better, into a new chapter in your life. The same thing happens in your late 20s, and definitely happens when you're a teenager. You break up and you're like, maybe I'm worth more than that, or maybe I'm not that person anymore. And these are some things to think about. So once again, Saturn isn't really, and it is difficult sometimes. But the reality is, if you're, good to yourself, good to the world around you, if you work hard, Saturn will bestow incredible riches. And think about it again. Jupiter rules the fun time right before Christmas. Right before Christmas, when you're shopping and having fun and going to parties, that's ruled by Jupiter. But Saturn, well, that rules giving Christmas gifts. Saturn rules opening gifts. So if you're good to each other during the year, or you're good to someone, then when Saturn comes into play during Christmas, you're going to get a lot of presents. Karma's paying off. But you're negative, then during the time of Saturn, you're not going to get any presents. And that's just the way the action works, man. It's pretty simple. That's the deal with Saturn. So instead of thinking of your Saturn transits as, oh no, it's the end of the world, you should really think of it as moving on into a beautiful, beautiful new chapter in your life. And yeah, the chapter requires hard work. Yeah, the chapter, turning that page in your life can be really difficult. It can be an arduous chore. It can feel like you're the only one doing it and you're the only one alone. But I got to tell you guys, the deal is to set your sights, work hard, and then go get it. And then your destiny will find you. Keep your feet moving and your destiny will find you. And once again, so this is the Saturn things. Now, there are other planets that have other, that correlate to other themes in your life and other timings in your life and other emotional or life checkpoints and check destinations. But that's fairly much the cut and dry meaning of Saturn in your life and how it works up, the really basic nitty-gritty. Now, hold on one sec. I'm going to show you again what it looks like in the astrological chart. So you can do it, or you can get a personal reading from me, or you can look up your chart online, and I'll show you what it looks like, because there was some confusion in class last night. Okay, so this is the chart of one of the SunnySiders. And as you look at my cursor here, this is her Saturn right here on the inside. This is her chart on the inside, and these are the transits on the outside. And you can see that as this is Saturn transiting at 25 degrees, right here, outside Saturn at 25 degrees. And this is her natal Saturn at 1 degree. And so we animate the wheel. Do-do-do, do-do-do. Okay, so here we go. So on the inside is her chart. This is her the SunnySider's chart on the inside. And on the outside, we have the transiting chart, what's happening in the sky right now. And if you look around on the outside, the sun, the sun is in Scorpio right now. Happy birthday, Scorpio. I hope you guys are having a super amazing day. Venus is in Mercury back here. So I keep saying Mercury, right? Venus is in Virgo. Good luck, Virgo. Everything should be cool with you. Mercury is retrograde. This is the sky right now. And Saturn is moving direct at 25 degree Capricorn. Her Saturn is at 1 degree Aquarius. So let's move the chart forward now. So I'm going to speed it forward 1 week at a time. So this is what's called an applying aspect. Saturn is moving from Capricorn to Aquarius. It's moving towards, transiting Saturn is moving towards her natal Saturn. That's called an applying aspect. And the energy is different. Applying aspects are like, hey, let's get it done. Let's go do this thing. The energy gets more and more intense towards the day of the Saturn return. But going through it, there's an applying aspect. It feels a certain way. Oh my God, I better work hard. This wave is coming. Paddle, paddle, paddle. Do my thing. Study, study, study. The test is coming. What's going on? New life. What should I do? And it's all those kind of themes. Oh, I'm by myself. I'm stranded. Like, what's going on? And then you fast forward it, and it moves along. And Saturn, the energy approaches. Saturn moves closer. And then finally, right here, and I have it, January 1st, 2021, January 1st, 2021, Saturn will be conjunct Saturn. They'll be at the same spot in the sky right there, 1 degree, 1 degree. And that's technically the day or days or week of the Saturn return. No. But this entire energy around this time in life for this particular Sunny-Sider, that's considered the Saturn return. Now, some people say going through your Saturn return is approaching. Some people say your Saturn return is when you're in your 30s. It's not. It's right here. Just have a look. 1 degree, 1 degree. Saturn has returned. Transiting Saturn has returned to the place in the sky from the Earth's perspective where it was when you were born. Saturn return. And that's the deal. So that's the deal, guys. I hope it makes a lot of sense to you guys. Hope you guys don't fear your Saturn return. And then moving forward, if you move forward in time, this is considered moving, you're moving on in life. It's a separating aspect. So that's called going through your Saturn return. So that's your Saturn return in casual language. It's approaching your Saturn return. It's a separating aspect. What happens after your Saturn return? That's what it looks like on the astrological chart. That's what the transits look like. And that's what it feels like. On one hand, it's karma. So if someone is jerking you around, expect to get jerked around. If you take control of your life, expect to have control of your life. If you, that's the deal. That's the deal. That is what's the deal. So good and bad. If you met someone approaching your Saturn return, if you met someone, then maybe you guys, and it works out, maybe you'll get married. If you decide you meet someone and it goes negative, you guys will rob some banks together. That's the deal. Saturn return. So it's not negative. It's more like it's karma. And that's the action, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it made sense. One more thing. For those who don't know, I'm shooting this video live. I'm shooting this video. And I didn't really plan on shooting the video live. I just planned on doing a little bit of a talk. But because we're doing it live, I'll let you guys, and I'm turning this into an actual video, I just want to take a moment and show you guys something right now at the end. This right here is Skimlinks. This is a place, if you have a YouTube channel or a Facebook thing or you're a social influencer of types, this is where you go to sell products. This is where you get the products for selling stuff on your YouTube channel. You can sell stuff. So anytime you go to a YouTube channel, you're watching a YouTube video, the guy's like, hey man, get this wallet, or hey, get this life insurance, or hey, get this product, or get that product. They've gone to a company like Skimlinks or Share a Sale, and they hooked up, like I hooked up, and they got the links and they tell you about it in their videos. And that's the action with that. It's free to join. It's free to participate. There's, you can choose your merchants as well. So some people want Nike, some want health products, lots and lots of different stuff. So if you have your own company right now, your own little business, and you're not really happy with the support, or they're making you buy in, if you have to pay every month to be a member of that network that you're selling, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't pay to work for a company. But here you go. Here you go. Skimlinks is right here. And that's the action. I wish everyone the best. Please subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys soon.